Magnolia Hall parking lot is full of energy as it's kind of transformed into an automobile showcase.
Yes, it has.
Thanks to our Sun City Car Club, because they've brought us some vehicles, foreign and domestic, current and classic, and I think every generation of Corvette that's possible. Now, I know I'm going to be going out to talk to the car owners. I'm going to be checking in with the car club and get some of the backstory of this show.
Well, I'm going to get myself on the road, and I'm going to check in with the charity recipient, and I'm going to interview some of the spectators here.
Okay, see you later.
See you later.
Arlene, we have got so much going on here today, and as the MC, you're going to help us cruise through the day with all kinds of stuff going on. Love the idea that we have all the cars here, but what are some of these other parts of the Sun City Car Show? Because they pack a lot into this.
Oh, and people are happy to see it. We have the beautiful awards that are completely done by our woodwork shop.
So Arlene, from your vantage point, who do you think has the most fun? The car club, the car owners, or the spectators?
Ooh, that's tough because I think all three.
I think that was the answer I was hoping you'd have.
Because the car club has this great event, which they get to show off their cars, because when you look walking down the street, you don't always see them.
They've been hidden behind those garage doors.
Yeah, that's right. And then you have the people coming to see them. So it's like the spectators are in awe of all the stuff that we have here.
And they get to vote for that People's Choice Award.
That's what
so
I was-
that's a fun one.
That is a real fun
Yep.
one. As a matter of fact, I go around and I look around, and it's very, very hard to choose. There are a lot of different cars here that are wonderful.
Dale, this is the 24th annual Sun City Car Show, and it's become such a Sun City tradition. Why do you think that is?
Well, first of all, people come back year after year and see the vehicles, but I think more than anything, they look at the cars here, and when I show my car, one of the things I always hear is, I had one of those, or we got married in one of those, or I had a buddy in high school or college that had that, and I have so many memories of what we did in that car. And so that brings people back. And then, of course, you see so many cars here from the 50s, 60s, 70s. And not only were cars an important part of our lives, but we had music about cars too. Everything centered on the cars.
A lot going on with cars, but I really, really think you hit it with the memories. I love listening to all the stories. Now, this is, as president of this, Sun City Car Club, this is your chance to brag about your club. So what was the volunteers? What does it take to get this thing on?
Well, fortunately, we have over 200 members in our club. And we had volunteers for this event, over 75 volunteers pulling this together. So it really does take an army to pull it off.
I think it's also a family. I keep seeing,
Yes.
when we set up yesterday, it was the same people that we've been doing it with. So we knew you do that, I do this, etc. What a culture you've developed. Now, it isn't just fun for us. There's a charity recipient for each show. Who's our charity recipient this year?
Our charity recipient is Meals on Wheels, and we've been working with them for the last couple of years. Meals on Wheels sponsors the meals, as they do throughout the world, for community members here in Sun City. So part of our charter with Sun City Car Club is that we finance the meals for over 30 families here in Sun City to make sure that they're fed and they can take care of themselves and continue to live at home. And so you'll see them here today collecting food and having a presence here, because we feel they serve the community, and we want to keep our donations within the Sun City community.
It's a great charity you've been involved in. I was actually at Meals on Wheels headquarters on the island, watching them package it and putting the Sun City Car Club sponsored this meal sticker on. So You're appreciated, and we appreciate you being so active in the club and taking care of us.
Oh,
Thank you.
It's a fun event, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Gene, you wear a few hats in the car club here, and you have been designated to be the registrar for this car show. So how many cars are we looking at being here today so far?
So far, we have about 105 with the early morning registrations. We've had a rush, just had about 6 or 7 new cars come in, so yeah, the count's going up fast.
Oh, that's great.
We ended up with 98 pre-registered.
Okay, so it's a popular show. Now, we run a pretty legitimate show here. We've got everybody organized in classes. So which class seems to draw the most cars?
Usually it's the vets. We've had a big rush on the custom class. We just had about 3 new coupes come in. We have some Cobras. We've invited an original Cobra this year, hoping he comes in.
Woo! All right. I know we got a kit car Cobra coming in. This is so important to the car club this year that this car is here for us. It's an homage to your dad, a long-standing member of our car club, a resident that was beloved by all here in Sun City. So here you are, John, but I hear you're going by Jack in Dad's name. Tell us, how did this was this a family car? Did you all grow up with this with Dad? Or was this his empty nester gift he gave himself?
Well, it's a funny story, but it's about 41 years ago. My father always had a love for cars. So he decided he always wanted a Model A, and he researched it, and we found one in Wayne, New Jersey, and we live in New York. So we drove out there to get the car, and the funny story was, it was Mother's Day. So this is my mother's Mother's Day present 41 years ago, which I believe she's not too happy about. But we brought it back to the house and stripped it and started restoring it, and he put a lot of time into it, a lot more than I did, but he put a lot of time and effort into it, and this is the end result. But it's a 1929 Model A and runs like a top, and it was the love of his life. He really loved this car.
And really, it was always our prize car, because when we did the show, we would always come to this car because it was the oldest car in the show. So there's so many memories that even we've collected with it. Thank you for bringing it here. This is just all of our moments with your dad, Jack.
Thank you. And I'd like to put a shout out to Roger from the car club, the president, who was unbelievable and emailing back and forth and talking to me, and he said, you really have to come down. So we flew down, and here it is. It's a great show. Great show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Because again, special man, special car,
Thank you very
special
much.
family. Okay, Tom, this is a big anniversary for Mustang because it's 60 years.
Correct.
Now, I consider Mustang as like one of our classic American icon automobiles. Why do you think that is?
When it first came out, I think it was different, unique, affordable, and it came with different engines, and the horsepower could be rated up. Plus, they were very easy to work on.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. Now, 60 years is the pinnacle. Yours is a 59-year-old Mustang. How did you acquire it?
21 years ago, I was living in Tucson, Arizona, and passed a Mercedes repair shop, and the car was sitting in the lot. And I said, oh, that's unusual. But these guys were known to do a lot of very good work. His car was there the next week, so I finally called him, and I said, what are you working on a Mustang for? And he said, we're trying to sell it for a guy. And I said, what's wrong with it? He said, not a thing. I said, and the reason is, he says he's 83 years old, can't drive it anymore. Or his daughter doesn't want him to drive it anymore. I said, okay, I can understand that. And I said, well, let me come down and take a look at it. Next thing I know, drove out with it.
Pretty much the original condition?
Yeah, it's when a car was first made, it was Ragoon red.
Woo!
And this is now Wimbledon white. Somewhere along the line, it was repainted. I've refurbished most of it. I'd like to take it back to the Ragoon red, because then that would be the original car and whatnot. But other than that, it's held its own. Easy to work on, easy to fix pieces and parts.
And a fun car to drive.
And it's a good car to drive, yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing it with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for the time.
Rich, the Jeep Wrangler that you brought today is in the American stock class, as we've outlined our organization for the car show. And that's so appropriate. This car, from what I've read, produced in the 80s to start. and it was supposed to evoke the idea of the 40s military vehicles. Was that its appeal for you?
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, this one is a 2016, and it's one of the last years of this Jeep look. If you look at the front end, it's got the round headlights and the 7 slats. For the newer ones, that's changed a little, but we got it because we wanted that traditional American Jeep look.
They're a fun car. Now, Jeep's often associated with off-roading. Is that something that you get involved in?
No, as you can see, if you look at this car, we don't even drive it in the rain. This is a fun toy for us, so we use it to go out to eat bars. We'll go to Hilton Head, Buford, in downtown Bluffton. So for us, it's just a fun get-around car.
It's just your coastal car.
Exactly. It's 2016 with only 40,000 miles on it, so we just drive it locally.
It's really, really a beautiful car. It's always fun to see the Jeep Wranglers. They're just such, just such a fun car. Now, we're not going to let you go though until we, give you some kudos. You stepped in as a new resident to Sun City, a new member of the car club, and you took over our volunteer opportunities. So thank you so much. How many volunteers have we got involved?
This year we have a little over 100 volunteers. So with this club, it was easy to get them. All I had to do was corral them and get them in the right buckets for the activities or the coordinators. So it was easy to do, and it's been a fun event. And you're right, I'm a new resident here.
We got a Sun City Wester.
Yeah, Sun City West, and I wanted to join just so I can meet people. It's been fun.
Well, it's great. I'm kind of racking my brain around that little, 100 volunteers. That's like half of the club membership. I mean, how many clubs can say they have 50% of the people that step up to do the job?
None that I know. And it was easy to get on. We have, I think, 207 members as of today, and we have 100 volunteers here helping out.
And we're all still smiling.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how it goes at the end of the day.
Thank you. Get back to work.
All right, thank you.
Steve, they say that any car enthusiast's dream is owning a Corvette. So, how did you get your dream Corvette?
Well, my son actually got this from his wife's uncle. And he decided that this was too old for him. It's not what he wanted. So I ended up with the car, and that's how I got it.
Wow. So now this is, as we'll see, an award-winning car. You won Best of Show here at the Sun City Car Show, correct?
Yes, I did.
Now tell us, what do you think appeals to make it the award-winning car?
Well, a lot of Corvette enthusiasts do consider the 1968 first year of the C3 to be the most beautiful design that Corvette ever had. Everybody's always telling me what a beautiful car it is, and I'm just thankful for all the people who came out and voted.
And I will say the color is sort of iconic, it seems. It seems so well deserved to be a little red Corvette.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for sharing it. Thank you for coming out to the show again. Maybe you'll win another trophy.
Let's keep our fingers crossed.
You've got enough room on the dash for it.
All right.
Gary, I know this is not your first Corvette, but is this your new favorite?
I would say that this is definitely, other than my 67, my best one. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a grand touring car more than anything else.
And tell us what this car and what is really the iteration highlights of this new 2024 version of a Corvette.
Well, the thing here is that we're in the 8th generation. It's Corvette C8, and this 2024 is a mid-engine car. It started in 2020, and we're dealing with less horsepower than my 16 Z06, but it's faster. Now, this is a Z51 model, which has increased braking and increased cooling, so we were a little bit more comfortable compared to my older car for that purpose. But the C8, it's just driving is a whole nother story. It's just so much comfort and enjoyment.
Really, handling is fabulous.
It's very different when you go around the corners. You can actually kind of feel that difference itself. And of course, now we have the super transmission in here, so the shifts are like immediately, bam, bam, bam. That was real fun fun
Do
to
you think
drive.
they can make an improvement on the 2024? Is it going to be hard to top this one?
Well, you have different iterations of this car now. You have the E-Ray, which is a battery-powered front-wheel drive, and we have the Z06, which is a flat-plane crank dual overhead cam, very fast car, race car for the street. And we now have the ZR1, which is 1,064 horsepower in this same type of car. So, yes, the C8's been a big thing for Chevrolet and a big thing for Corvette lovers.
It's hard to keep it on the road.
Well, a lot of people just keep it in a garage because it's the kind of car it is. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing this today. I love seeing the latest models, and Corvette's quite the popular car here. John, you are usually known as the voice of the Sun City Car Show, but we never talked to you about your car. So tell us about this beautiful Austin Healey.
Oh, I've got a great car. I've been an Austin Healey fan since I was a teenager. I was delivering groceries for my dad, and I saw my first 1956 BN2, and it was a black over green color, and I fell in love with Austin Healey's. The first one I owned was 1960. I had one while I was working my way through college. It was a beautiful 3000. Loved driving it through the mountains of West Virginia. In the interim, I've owned two Sprites that I used as daily drivers to different places that I lived. One of them was at Fort Hood, Texas. And then I found this car when I lived in upstate New York. And it was advertised in the newspaper. It's a BN1. It's an Austin Healey 100. It was manufactured on October the 14th, 1953. Okay.
Younger than me.
Well, it's not younger than me, but its body number is it was the 414th car that they made. It's just a beautiful car. I've had it as a project car for the past 25 years now. I've done lots of things to it. One of these days I'm going to show some pictures that show the before and after, but it's a great hobby. I love Austin Healey's. I love Jerry Coker, who designed this car. Very I want to say very contemporary car for the era of 1953. Most of them look like some of these big fendered cars, like MGs and all that good stuff. So this was a classic, and if you look at the profile of the car, you'll see the same profile in almost every sports car.
Wow. Okay. Well, we thank you for letting us see your car this time, and we thank you for everything you do for the Car Club.
Well, thank you very much.
Zoe, I read that Ferdinand Porsche said, "I looked for my dream car and couldn't find it, so I built it myself." How did you come to own a Porsche dream car?
Well, I've got a pretty good story. I always wanted one. I grew up in Southern California. It was a popular car then. And I once went to the Porsche dealership where we lived in Sacramento, and nobody would help me. And I came home and I kind of complained to my husband, like, nobody will even talk to me when I go there. And so he bought me this as a wedding present. I said I had a good story, so he...
Wow.
Yeah.
At this point, I want everybody that's going to watch this to say, "Oh, that's a beautiful story." So how many years have you had this car?
We've been married since 2018, so just about 7 years.
You're still newlyweds.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a beautiful car. Do you enjoy driving it? Do you get it out there? Or is it kind of a, behind the garage door kind of car?
It's a bit of a garage car, but it has about 70,000 miles. So
good job.
Another funny part of the story is he bought it on one of those online auction sites, and it was based in Savannah. So it was shipped out to us in Sacramento, and then came back here when we moved here.
Taking it back home. Thank you so much for sharing what I think is truly a dream car.
It is.
Dale, what's the magic to customizing a classic car instead of just restoring it?
What I really like about it, it's an older car, yet it's something that is quite reliable. You can drive it. I've taken it 200 miles away. And more importantly is the air conditioner works in the low country, which is quite important. I've really liked this one because the car actually looks original from 1949. But once you open up the hood or look underneath, it's not original at all anymore.
So you didn't have to be quite so purist about it. You can make it what you wanted it to be.
That's correct. But I also want to put out that if you are a purist, there's nothing better than an original vehicle. There's another 1949 here, and it's almost all original. It's absolutely incredible.
Well, this is quite a historical vehicle, though, because from what I've read, maybe my research was on, I hope, on point, that this was the first full-size Ford that was built after World War II.
It is. 1949 Ford came out, and of course, during World War II, auto manufacturers were making airplanes, tanks, Jeeps, parts for everything but cars. And it was actually the first car that was totally redesigned that was put out after World War II.
Kind of almost like a victory car.
Kind of like a victory car.
Now, we're not going to let you get off camera until we recognize you for so much of the work that you've done for Sun City's Car Club and especially the car show. You're actually one of the people responsible for the redesign of our trophies that everybody raves about. So thank you for that. And I guess like they say in the Olympics and everything, you are the official transport vehicle of all of the supplies that get used for our car show, and we totally appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you for everything. Bill, you have one of the most classic vehicles here today, and you don't treat it like it's a special diva. You've got this car. I have seen this truck over at Trunk or Treat. I've seen you delivering Christmas presents like it's Santa's sleigh. So you got to tell us a little bit about this vehicle that not just you enjoy, but I think we all enjoy.
Yes, yes. Well, I've had it 25 years, and when I did it over, I didn't want it to be a trailer queen that you just cover up in the garage. So we put almost 60,000 miles on it since we've had it. And, I go to Home Depot, we go to Publix when you have to, and it's just a lot of fun. And people enjoy it on the road because you don't see them that often. But I go on 95, I go on 278, and, but it has modern things like brakes. It's got four-wheel disc brakes, power steering, which helps. It's got a good horn, which I don't use it too often. But
of course not.
No. But it's fun. It's fun.
It's a beautiful truck. We really do. It's such a classic, I think, to our whole club because you've done so much with it. Thank you so much for sharing with it. Thank you for helping to volunteer. You're the class captain for the truck section this year.
Yep.
Well, Lily, I understand this is the first time that the Meals on Wheels is going to be a recipient for the Car Club. Now, can you tell us exactly how the Car Club is involved with you?
Well, the Car Club is amazing. They've been Adopt a Route for the last 2 years, which means they pay money and we put labels on, and the people in Sun City know that they're sponsoring that route. We have 4 routes in Sun City, and we spent about $70,000 on meals here in Sun City to help your neighbors.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, how many Sun City recipients do get the meals?
Well, we have probably about 10 to 15 on each route, so we have 4 routes. So, there's a lot. It's growing. We have a wait list for the first time in our history because we are running out of funding. So this funding is so important to us because it runs us a lot of money every month to buy the food and get it out there.
I'm sure it is. And how do events like this help the Meals on Wheels?
Oh, but these are amazing because it's not a lot of staff time, and so you're not paying staff to do something. You've got wonderful volunteers like here at the Sun City Car Club that's doing this for us, and it makes a big impact. So all the money goes to the meals.
Well, we have something for you today. We'd like to make a donation also.
Thank you. Yeah, this food that we're getting today is going to be used for snacks because we no longer have a snack program, and also for hurricane packets and for storms, and so that they have food in their house if there's a storm. So thank you so much.
Thank you for speaking with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Walking through all these rows of cars brings back special memories. We're going to ask some of the spectators what their special memory is.
I had a Plymouth Gold Duster, and I loved it. It was my car, drove it everywhere until I met him, and it was too small.
Hi, my favorite memory is when I bought this car in 1988, and then I joined the Porsche Club and went on one of these rides up in Connecticut. It was exhilarating. Roads, winding roads, shifting. I mean, it's a awesome vehicle. Love it, love it.
Hello, welcome to Sun City. My name is David Reif, and I was walking by this beautiful Mustang, and I'm a big Mustang fan. I have a 1969 Boss 302 I've owned for 48 years, and I have it here today, and it's just a great atmosphere and beautiful weather, some nice people.
So I'm the fourth child of my family, and my two older brothers were 12 and 10 years older, and they had a buddy that bought a GT, and his dad was a farmer, and we housed the secret that he would come to our house, get the car all souped up, and they would take it to the US 30 drag strip. And so we all got to be a part of that and go to the racetrack and, you know, cheer him on. And then when his dad found out, took all the fun away.
Car-related memory. Well, I think back to the 70s when I owned a 55 Ford Thunderbird. And unfortunately, a divorce came into my family, and it was either keep the kids or keep the car. So I had to sell the car and keep the children. So that's my memory. I still miss the car, but I still enjoy the kids.
Well, I had a truck very similar to this. And one day we went out to get a bunch of wood and building materials, and we put it in the truck in the back, and then all of a sudden we couldn't fit it all, so we put the back down, stopped short, went fast, and everything flew out of the back. So good thing there was nobody in back of us, but close enough that a whole bunch of people came and put the stuff right back in again. I had to go outside and hold on to it while my son drove the truck. And that's my story.
My car-related memory was my 1975 Oldsmobile Custom Cruiser station wagon. And I was the only one that could get in and out of the driver's door because the door was broken, so nobody'd steal it.
Steve, you are building up quite a resume here as the Sun City Car Show chairman. It's 6 years that you've been doing this.
That's correct. 6 years.
So it helps, I think, that you've had a little bit of a support organization. You've been calling them the Dirty Dozen Plus. So let's give them some recognition.
Okay, this car show is broken up into 12 sections of responsibility, and there's a captain, or like I call him, lightning rod, for each section. And I think we should thank them, especially because they are responsible for putting this thing together. And as you can tell from this program, probably, that it's a success.
Yeah, I think one of your volunteers, one of your lightning rods, told me that you have about 100 volunteers that help put this thing together, which is about almost 50% of your membership, which is pretty cool. Now, are there any other shout outs or recognition for some of the other organizations here in Sun City that help you guys out?
I do. We have 3 organizations that I would like to shout out to. Number one is Lifestyle. So you can't do anything without them, and we are almost one team for this big show. Number 2 would be Securitas, who helps make sure that all these valuable cars are taken care of. And number 3 is Sun City TV.
Oh, thank you. That was very nice. Now, thank you very much. And last question, after 6 years, as you guys are probably already thinking about the 7th, what keeps you going?
I'll tell you what, look around. Look at your show and look at the fun we're having and serious car guy stuff even. So yeah, we keep going.
Thank you. We're looking in the rearview mirror as we leave the 24th annual Sun City Car Show. What beautiful memories from all these beautiful vehicles.
Thank you, Sun City Car Club, and thank you for watching.